Hey everybody, welcome back. We are in day 3 of our 5 days of freebies here as we discuss the Approach Mastermind Group. I'm excited everybody is here. I'm excited that you showed up again. Some of you are here for the first time, some of you are here for the second time, some of you are here for the third time. I'm counting the first one even though we had tech issues. We're showing up every day and we don't quit. So I'm going to do a quick introduction on myself, the Approach Mastermind Group, what it is, and then the 5 pillars of the Approach Mastermind Group. And we will get into our topic today, and we will have an invited guest, and we will also take questions. Hopefully, maybe. If you're here, let us know. Yeah, I want to see. Okay, so what is the Approach Mastermind Group? It is a year-long, small group, diversified training program for professional actors and actors who are on the path to becoming professional actors. This is not for beginning actors, it's not for novice actors, it's not for newbies, it's not for completely inexperienced or green actors. Ideally, it's for those of you who have been in the business for 2 or 3 years, or maybe more, and you have some training under your belt, you kind of have some tools in that tool belt. Maybe you have some professional materials. You've got your profile on Actors Access. You've got your headshots. Maybe you've got an agent, and maybe you're even auditioning and booking. In our 2 years, 2023 and this year, 2025, we have actors ranging from 0 professional on-camera credits all the way up to recurring top of show guest stars on network television who are auditioning for series regulars, auditioning for and competing, and who make their sole living from acting. So we've got an entire spectrum. How do you know then if you are right for the Approach Mastermind Group? You've got some training. You've got some experience. You might even be booking. You are beyond the need for beginning level instruction, beginning level training, and you are ready to go all in and go to that next level and really get some hands-on, one-on-one, customized feedback from me in terms of your materials, your direction, your strategy, your goals, all of that stuff, which is great because we do a one-on-one consultation at the beginning of the year, and we do a one-on-one conversation at the end of the year, which helps set you up for the following year, that second year, the year ahead. Madeline is here on day 3. Congrats, Madeline. You didn't quit in trying to come see us this week. We love that. I love that. I love that. So following, you might be right for the Approach Mastermind Group. If you are in that 2 to 3 to 5 year window, maybe you consider yourself an intermediate actor ready to move on to advanced, or you're moving in that direction. You're seeing good feedback. You want small classes with tailored, customized feedback, not just generic feedback. You want accountability. You want community. You want to focus and work on mindset. This game is a marathon. This business is decades long, and it goes beyond talent. It goes beyond luck. It goes beyond preparation. You've got to have a locked-in mindset because there are peaks and valleys. And you want to be challenged in your mindset. You want to emerge from this experience a changed person, not just a changed actor, but a changed person. And so I sort of talked about that just conversationally, the 5 pillars of the Approach Mastermind Group, but I really want to lay that out transparently. Accountability, that's a big thing that we talk about. It's a big thing that you're going to do. Business acumen, community. We're going to be talking about community today. Mindset, and of course, craft. Accountability could be something like goal setting. It could be accountability with respect to your training plan. It could be accountability with respect to your commitments, and those commitments are to yourself, to your classmates, to your agent and manager, to casting directors. When you say, yes, I'm confirming that audition, it's It's all that. On set, accountability to producers and directors. That's accountability. Business acumen. This is first and foremost a business. It is art and artistry second. But if you don't understand the ins and outs of the business, you may get taken advantage of. You may not understand safety on set. You may not understand that you have a resource and a lifeline in the union, even if you're not a union member yet. You should know what to look for in agency contracts. Presumably, if you don't have an agent yet, you want an agent. You're seeking an agent. And if they offer you representation, you need to know what is okay. What is not okay in a contract that they're offering you? What are the terms you might be looking for in those agency contracts? When you book a job, you're going to get a contract that you need to sign. Even if it's unpaid, you're going to get a contract. You need to look at those clauses or those terms in that contract. Are you being taken advantage of? Do you know what in perpetuity means and how that can potentially negatively affect you? Do you know what commissions you owe your agents or managers on certain projects? For how long are you going to owe them commissions on money that you earn? That's understanding the business. Community. It takes a community. It takes a village. No actor is an island. We are not doing this alone. And there are not many guarantees in this business, but I guarantee if you have a question, if you have a concern about something in this business, another actor also has that same question, also has that same concern. And so it's really important that you have this community, a safe space and a safe place to ask your questions, to communicate your vulnerabilities, to talk about what you need. And maybe if you're having a problem or a challenge with your agent and you're not getting the right answers, you can talk about it in the mastermind group. If you're worried about, or you're thinking about switching up teachers or studios and you're looking for feedback on and recommendations on who might be a great studio to go study with, we can talk about it here in the Approach Mastermind Group. One of the coolest things that we do each year, they have their own dedicated WhatsApp group. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. Almost every day there's activity. And not just from this year's group, the current group of students who are going through it, the 2023 group still leans on each other. Maybe it's, hey, I need a reader. Can somebody help me? Or, hey, I'm thinking about submitting to this agency. Does anyone know anything about them? Or do they have any friends repped by them? Or are you repped by them? I have questions. Community is massive. And community and mindset go right hand in hand, because if you don't have a great foundation in terms of your community, your mindset is going to suffer. This business is heartless, it's thankless, it's challenging, it's a constant uphill battle. And so my job meaning my job as a facilitator, I'm not in charge. I just facilitate the mastermind group. I facilitate this group together and help usher us all through this experience together. Hey, Hallie's here. What's up, Hallie? I'm so glad you're here too. What's up? And then the fifth element, the fifth pillar of the mastermind group is craft. Yeah, we've got to be great actors when those opportunities come along. And I'm really proud of the training that we do. The training that we do, I will make an actor better, whether they're brand new or they have 20 years of experience. I'm that confident as a teacher that I could take a series regular and make them better, stronger, make their script analysis skills better, make their audition technique clearer. I'm really confident in that. I've worked with thousands of actors. And I'm not the right teacher for everybody. And in the past, outside of Mastermind Group, if someone's with me, I might say, you know what? We might not be right to work with each other, but I recommend this person and this person and this person. You should check them out. And it's really important when that happens. You know, transparency. I shouldn't be like hoarding all the secrets. I should be sharing the secrets, sharing the tools, and recommending other great people out there. Quick pivot. You're here presumably because you're interested in the Approach Mastermind Group. You've heard about it. Maybe you have a friend who's in the current session or maybe in the 2023 session. The applications open on September 1st. And They run through September 15th. And I will be looking at them on a rolling basis as they come in from September 1st forward through September 15th. Give all of them the attention that they deserve. I will give all of them single focus. It's a little bit like a college application. It's not that bad, I promise. It's like 10 questions. 5 of them are easy bullet point answers. And then the next 5 are sort of essay fill in the blank questions. You can answer with a paragraph or you can go in detail. I've had people give pages and pages of notes, and I love it because my goal is to identify who you are as an artist, who you are as a human, and how they mesh together. Because I'm not just looking for people with a credit card. I am looking for people who are the right puzzle pieces to make this community great, to make the next year's community great. And so that's what it's all about. I get a lot of my inspiration from your effort in the application period. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to invite in our guest today, who, let's bring him in, shall we? There he is, coming right in to join us now. Lauren Foster, I call him Foster. Foster is a member of the 2025 Mastermind Group. What we're going through right now. How are we doing, Foster?
Doing great, Alex. Thanks for letting me join in.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about community today. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk a little bit generally about our community this year, the 2025 Mastermind Group. We have 18 members from 12 different states. And y'all, these actors are not in Hollywood. They're not in New York looking at Broadway out of their apartment window. We have folks in what we would call minor markets, and they are still experiencing success. They are still getting it done. We have folks in Florida, Atlanta, Tennessee, Nebraska, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan. We also do have New York. We've got Boston. We've got West Virginia. And I'm forgetting one. I know we have 12 different states for the 18 people. Oh, no. Who did I forget?
Kentucky?
I said Kentucky. I think I said
Okay.
Kentucky. And you'd be one of those folks, right, Foster? You'd be considered a minor market actor. Why don't you tell everybody where you're located and where you typically audition? What markets do you audition in?
Sure. So located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And for the most part, auditions that come in, of course, Ohio, PA, Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan, have had some auditions in Chicago, New York, North Carolina, but that's typically the majority where my auditions come in.
Cool. And would you say you're a grizzled 25-year actor veteran at this point? Or are you a brand new baby actor? Or are you kind of like what we would say you're like a tween actor? You've been doing it for a little while.
Tween actor. So I officially started submitting auditions August 31st, 2022. So almost 3 years ago.
Almost 3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know we can't say transparently, but can you, without giving anything away, can you share anything about a recent experience you might have had as an actor?
Sure can. Yeah. And it specifically relates to community, what you've been discussing, Alex, because these are, I'm assuming everybody that's watching is prospective, interested in potentially pursuing the mastermind for next year. So
that's right.
Alex hasn't asked me to share any of this in essence to try to sell you on it, but I will let you know this has been a life-changing year for me as an actor, professionally, personally, for a variety of different reasons. But I'll relate it to community and how I wasn't aware the power of community would actually open doors already for me as an actor. So one of the things that Alex has been great at doing outside of lending his own personal expertise and background and training to all of us that are in the mastermind, he invites other professionals, actors, casting directors into these conversations and introduces us to them as well. And we get to glean from their experience. And so this was back in, I want to say April. The guest that Alex had brought in was an actress from Atlanta. And during the Q&A in that breakout, we were discussing our our relationship to our current agents, for those of us that had a representation. And so for me, my agent that I had signed with in Pittsburgh, the way they kind of function out of their office, it's not just one particular agent that represents me. It's kind of like they handle it as a team, right? And so my question to her was, when you don't have necessarily a well-developed personal relationship with an agent, how do you break in so that a local casting director might be able to, I might be able to get on their radar for potential opportunities where I'd be a great fit? And so I'd mentioned some things that I knew were casting in and around our area at that time. And the actress that Alex brought in, had given me some great advice on just how to potentially make some inroads with my agency. And so I took some notes down, and then less than maybe 2 or 3 days later, I got an audition in Buffalo for a Hallmark movie. Well, this actress had been in a few Hallmark films. And so I reached out. In fact, Alex said, "Hey, Katie coaches, and if you ever want to, one-on-one with her." And so I reached out and I said, "Hey, would love some coaching for this audition." She said, "Sure." And in that conversation, I had mentioned to her a film that was casting locally in Pittsburgh. And she said, "I actually got a breakdown today for some roles." She goes, "I think there's one here that might be a fit for you. If I were you, I would reach out to your agent, ask them if they'd submit you, on behalf of this casting director." And so I did that same day. And my agent, who again, it's not like I have this long-standing relationship with, or deep relationship that had been built, they said, "We'll send your material, but no guarantees. This casting director is very specific, but at this point, I felt confident. Hey, have a good headshot, have a solid reel." Sent it. They called me back a couple hours later. They said, "Okay, she wants you to read for this one part." I said, "Oh, that's incredible." And long story short, submit for the role, book the role, which again was my first SAG theatrical role. All that to be said, how this relates to the community, I'm totally convinced. I'm not a part of the mastermind. I don't ever make that connection. I don't even have that introduction to Katie. I don't make that phone call to my agency because I don't even have the breakdown for something, information that I don't have access to. So it all works together. You're getting so much more than just tips and tools for how to do better self tapes or break down a script or prepare yourself for an audition, which, by the way, you'll get all of that. But then you get access to things that I didn't even know at the start of the year would lead to date, the biggest booking that I've had in my career.
Yeah, look at that. And now you're eligible to join SAG-AFTRA, which now further enhances your relationship with your agent. So there's all that sort of snowball effect. I love that story. Thank you for sharing that. And Katie started as a student of mine years ago as well. Katie, as an actress, was living in New York with a friend, and they weren't having much luck in New York. And so her and her best friend moved to Atlanta. They both ended up in my class. And Katie is a similar story to you, Foster, but just a few chapters farther along in the book, and has since, talk about working. Busy working actor. Also is a taper and coach. Specifically a taper at one of the original taping services. When we started, this company started in 2005. That's how long they've been taping actors in Atlanta. And Katie is one of the tapers at that company, so has the benefit of seeing thousands of tapes and hundreds, if not thousands, of actors. And again, it's just community based because a script came to her and she thought, Foster, he'd be great for that. So yeah, I love that those dominoes don't fall in place if you don't take the opportunity to set them up and put yourself in the position to meet the people or be present or be engaging. And I'm glad that you mentioned the monthly chats. We have a monthly industry chat as part of the mastermind, the fourth Thursday of every month. And we have series regulars, we have showrunners, we have casting directors, we have agents. In fact, tomorrow we have one of the largest casting directors in the Southeast. Y'all, if you're watching this, you already know who this casting director is because you follow them on Instagram because they're incredibly active on Instagram. And the mastermind community gets their own time with this person. They get to hear from this person directly about what their experience is like as a casting director and what they're working on currently and what they look for and what they love. And then you get to talk to them. You get to have a conversation with them. You get to ask them questions. And so it's a lower pressure environment, perhaps, than a casting director workshop where you're sort of expected to, like, you know, tap dance and do the whole song and dance. We all know what casting director workshops are like. There's some pressure and some artificiality to it, but these conversations are really different. Foster, what else do you kind of put under the umbrella of community that we all do together in the mastermind group?
Sure. So we have, a WhatsApp group that was started at the beginning of the year where everybody that's in the group together gets a chance to share wins, share updates in life, and we get to celebrate one another. Of course, there's opportunities that if you wanted somebody to be a reader or support you for an audition that you have coming up. But again, it's great because everybody that's in the group is in a like-minded stage in their career where, hey, we all want to get better and we all want to work. We all want to improve our craft. It's one of the things I was personally looking for is a group that essentially was going to take this as serious as I do, where I want to have fun, of course, and I don't want to take it to the so serious where every audition would overwhelm my life. But at the same time, I want to put myself in a position to book great work, to work on great projects, to work with great people. And I would say everybody that we're in the group with together would be in the same boat.
And it's funny, it just made me think of something, that there are 18 members in the mastermind group this year. We have a Tuesday class of 9 and we have a Wednesday class of 9, but then everything else we do as a group. Our industry chats, our homework, our assignments, our self-development, our WhatsApp group, that's a combined group. But of all the actors in the United States, the fact that there are 18, only 18, there's 160,000 plus union actors, plus another 500,000 non-union actors or more in the United States. And you end up on a set with one of the actors from the mastermind group. Like, what are the odds of that before you knew each other?
Yeah, we met on a set last fall in Louisville, and we just started talking. In fact, this other actor was the lead in the film, and I was in a supporting role. And so we just start talking about, hey, what are your goals for 2025? And so we start talking, just talking shop. He goes, yeah, I'm actually going to be joining a group. There's this guy, Alex Collins, and he has a mastermind group. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, I'm in that group as well for next year. And so we had never met each other before then. And now, of course, we're in class together each week.
Yeah. So it's just making that world a little bit smaller. And I said before you joined us today, Foster, that community and mindset go hand in hand. And part of that goes into relationships. And you talked about it with respect to Katie and getting that opportunity. And here you are on this set, and it just takes the pressure off a little bit because there's a shorthand or a familiarity or a comfort level. This business is challenging enough. This business is difficult enough. This business is rejection filled enough that if we can find ways to soften the blow, if we can find ways to find common ground, or like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, if we can figure that out a little bit, it makes things a little bit easier. And I love the relationships that I've developed over the years as an actor. And I don't think it's an accident that I get hired again and again to work with people I've worked before, directors, showrunners, producers, studios, networks, whatever that is. Because I don't believe I'm the most talented guy auditioning for something. There's a lot of talented actors out there. But if it's between me and someone else, and they know me and they've worked with me for a couple months before, or a couple of episodes, or maybe even one day, 12 hours, and they don't know this person, I'm probably going to get the nod because I'm a known variable to that production or that showrunner versus someone who isn't. And that is just a testament to community. It's just a different form of community, right? Crazy.
100%.
Any last 30 seconds you want to share with us? Anything you want. It could be anything.
Sure. I'll just say a testament to anybody that's considering this group or you're considering applying for this group. one of the things that Alex does really, really well, particularly when it comes to community, is very honest about what's happening in this journey of being an actor, the highs and the lows, from all the business side of Alex, what you're so knowledgeable with, what you've taught, even at the most recent summit that a lot of us attended. But I feel that there's, at times when you're a part of this industry, you can get this sense that someone's not willing to really share the rest of the 10% of what they know, or it's almost as if someone might even be holding back because they don't want you to grow to a place that they're at. There's nothing like that in this particular group, and I think that's a testament to the way Alex leads it by example. And so everybody else, we're just honest. I mean, if you had a job that you booked, we celebrate. If you had a callback that maybe didn't fall your way, we're still celebrating. But then even from the honesty of the numbers and how it all plays out in terms of a career long term, I've just been really impressed by the transparency of it all.
I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. That means a lot. And I have a couple of other working actors and coaches and teachers that I know at a similar level than I'm at, or maybe even farther along. And not everybody wants to share the secrets in terms of their journey, their success, their failures, or things that are slowing them down or holding them back. The numbers especially are really, really important because it gives context. It gives context to the fact that there are peaks and there are valleys in this journey. And I think if you can share that, meaning me, if I can share that and someone else can see, oh, I can get there, I can do this, then it's helpful to keep that person in the business one more year, or keep them from feeling like they're an island. So I want to thank you for joining us. Great job in class today, by the way. Well done. See, we had class today, and Foster's still making time to join us even after 3 hours of class. And I will see you tomorrow during our chat as well. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to stick around for a couple more minutes and share one more little goodie with everybody. Foster, you've been awesome, man. Take care.
Great. Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.
Awesome. That was great. So you heard it direct from the horse's mouth from a student who is with us in this year's 2025 Approach Mastermind Group. Foster, an actor based out of Pennsylvania. He has just in this year gained his union eligibility, booked the biggest role on the biggest project he's had, and also within the last year worked with another member of this year's Approach Mastermind Group and figured out they were both doing Mastermind Group on set of a movie together. They didn't know each other before. They didn't know anything about the Mastermind Group before community portion of it. But then they forged community on that set, knowing that the following year, this year, they were going to be in this journey together, which I love. So one last thing I want to leave y'all with today, whether or not you are right for the Approach Mastermind Group this coming year, whether or not you decide to apply for the Approach Mastermind Group, or maybe you just need a little bolt of lightning or a little jolt of energy, I want to talk about goal settings. We're getting ready to turn the corner. Summer is leaving us behind. It's Labor Day weekend this weekend, which means fall is right around the corner, and winter. And as the weather dips into the cooler temps, we tend to slow down. Not just our body, our rhythms, but our motivation. And so one of the ways you can curb that is to get ahead of the game for 2026. And I'm a firm believer in setting goals. And I'm putting it in the ticker right below there. To be a legitimate goal, it needs to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and have a degree of time sensitivity to it. So winning an Oscar, that's cool. But it's not a goal for many of us because it's probably not realistic right now. And it doesn't have a time on it. Winning an Oscar. Winning an Oscar by 2040? Okay. Is that achievable if you've never done any on-camera acting? Maybe not. So maybe a smart goal for you would be, by the end of 2026, I will complete a 6-month Meisner intensive at the Hood School in Cleveland. That is specific. I named it. It's measurable because I either do it or I don't. It's achievable, assuming I put my deposit down and I show up to class. It's realistic because I can take classes right where I'm at right now, and it's time sensitive. By the end of 2026, either I do it or I don't. A lot of actors set a goal like, I'm going to book a network TV show. I don't believe that's a good goal because it is 0% in your control as an actor. You could be the best audition they see and not book it. Why? Because maybe you look too much like the lead, or you look better looking than the lead, or you're taller than the lead, or they hired somebody with a mustache last week and they don't want a mustache this week. So you can't control bookings. So you could put it on your vision board, book a network TV show, but it probably shouldn't be on your goal list because you can't control it. So it's not necessarily solely in your pathway of control. So I'm going to leave you with that, something to think about. If you're going to do goal setting, which I really love, they should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time sensitive. For me, I'll add in one more wrinkle, one little freebie of nugget of information. I do SMART goals. I establish them in 30, 90, and 365-day segments. So that way I've got a monthly, a quarterly, and a yearly series of goals. And I do them within the industry, acting goals. I do personal goals. I do professional goals. And I do finance goals. You don't have to get that granular. You don't have to get that dialed in. Just start with acting, perhaps. What are your SMART goals for 2026? So if you're watching this video either live or recorded and you want to share it in the comments, I would love to hear what your 2026 SMART goals are. And we could decide if they are actually SMART or if they're missing an element or two. I could get back to you. I'll comment on that. So that's it for our time today. We talked about the Approach Mastermind Group's pillar of community. That means so far we've talked about accountability, business acumen. Today we spoke about community. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about mindset. Hopefully you'll join us tomorrow, and hopefully you're giving some consideration to applying to join us in